Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Made in Abyss Season 2 episode number 8 reaction. Okay, the previous episode, it was one of the most uncomfortable, you could say disturbing episodes in Made in Abyss. I'll have to say, like this actually surpasses everything we've seen. Like up until now, everything was just like, like there was a lot of uncomfortable scenes, a lot of really gory and like really skin tingling scenes, but this one is, like, I have to say, the most disturbing one. So we kind of go to the backstory or the past of all these characters of Vueko and all the other characters, Pilaf, Wazukyan, and we see how they became, like, like the residents of the Golden City. And obviously, if you have to settle down, you need water, food, and all that. They can get food, they can kill monsters and get food from them. Water, however, they were able to get a clean source of water. At that time they thought it was, but later on realized that it was actually, the water was from like the dead carcasses and like dead solidified carcasses of monsters, which is why it had a lot of bad things. Boiling didn't help at all, so people started becoming sick, diarrhea, and their, like, hands started, like, kind of becoming into trees and stuff. So yeah, that started happening. And to actually counteract that, we put our faith on Irumui, the little girl, because little children are said, like, we found like a little egg kind of thing which is said to fulfill wishes. And as little children have the most clear mind, and they have no complications within their heart, they only think of one thing, wish for one thing. That is why it usually works when children make a wish on that. Unfortunately, Irmui, however, had a bunch of wishes, I'm guessing, which were kind of intertwined with each other. And yeah, it turned out, obviously, her biggest wish was for her to have children, which is one of the biggest reason why she was ostracized and she was actually exiled. So that combined with a few other wishes made into, like, like a very complicated situation. Her body changed. Not only that, she had children, but unfortunately they died every day. And like, it was the pain, like, of, like, just seeing your child die in front of you each and every day. And obviously within that time, Vueko was also sick. So all that, like, included, it was like one of the messed up scenes. And obviously it doesn't stop there, because later on we get to see that, like Wazukyan said, that this girl is the one who'll save us. She did technically save every one of them, which is why, like I said in the previous video, I am feeling a little bit complicated about this situation, because if Wazukyan did not do that, everyone would have died, and everything would have been over. But still, what he did was obviously one of the most disturbing things. It is he took, I'm guessing, like, they did not, like, actually tell us directly, but I'm guessing what he did is he took the dead, like, babies every day, and decided to feed it to everyone to save them. Let's see what happens today. And I'm guessing we're going to get confirmation about what we think. I'm pretty sure that's what he did, but we'll see. All right, let us begin. This is episode number 8. So yeah, I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. All right, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, is he back? Yeah. I wonder who she is. Yeah. Oh my god. Promise. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, like, just. Oh my god, I have a bad feeling about this. Oh no! Stop! What is happening? Ah, I thought like part of body meant nail or hair, not this. I am so confused. I still feel like Faputa is Irmiwi, but they look so similar. Oh boy. Wait a minute. I don't know. Like for a moment, I really am confused. I'm not sure whether Fabuta is Irmiwi or these two are absolutely different characters. I still am not sure. Like for a moment at the beginning, I thought Irmiwi and Fabuta are the same. Then if for a moment in the middle of the show, I was like, maybe not. Maybe they're different characters. But now again, I feel like they're the same because like they kind of showed both of them together, like one after the other, their faces. And I'm like, yeah, they look so similar. Their face looks so same. So again, I'm not sure anymore. Like if Inmui and Faput are actually different characters, or are they the same character? Their voices are also so same. Okay, let's wait. I'm sure I'll get my answer. No, you know what? No, probably not. Because I remember Ryuko actually referring to Faputa as the Hollow Princess or something. So she's probably not Irmiwi. The form that wish takes. Okay. Oh boy, Belaf. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh boy, here we go. Wazukan is here. Mm, three stages. Oh boy. What? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, you know what? Maybe Faputa's enemy is child or something. Oh, stop. Oh my god. Wait, so he's killing the. Oh my god. Uh, oh god. Nah. Oh God. So I'm guessing we need to consume this as long as we live here. Otherwise, we're going to get that same disease again. The diarrhea and everything. Yeah, I was thinking that Belaf has gone crazy. Why is she? Oh, she's trying to. Can she kill her? I don't know. Wait. Oh, she's. Ah, yeah, he's going like. They're praying to it. Oh my God. Oh, getting bigger and bigger. Oh, what? What's happening? What? Oh wait, that's yeah, that's the that egg or whatever. Yeah, cradle of desire. Wait, can we take it out? Second one? What? Where did he get another one? What? Where? What? Oh. Oh my God. So that's why, like, the structure changed. Wait, was it his wish? Oh my God. No. Is that even possible? Oh my God. What? Wait, it's moving. Oh, oh my God. Wait, what? Okay. Oh my God. What in the? Oh no. Ah. Noble and never got used to suffer. Wow, what? Never got used to the suffering. But is this that village that we're going to? Whoa, what? Ah. Oh, whoa. What the? What is going on? Oh, wait, it's the. Oh my god, what? Wait, so Irmi herself is like the village or something? Is she the whole village? And Bella become like this. Okay. So everyone's going to become like this when. Oh wow, everyone's like. Yeah, these people have gone crazy. So yeah, the the village in itself is Irmiwi. So they're living inside Irmiwi. That's why the village has like a will, like the whole balancing thing is there. Those weird things that balances. What? Yeah, she doesn't want to. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, he tried it on himself. Yeah, and after that, that's why she's like here. Okay. Okay, now I do wonder. Oh, this is the head. He also changed, obviously. Oh boy. Probably. We've been gathered here. Oh wow. 1 second. And that's why she's able to actually see everything, when she was here, what's happening in the village and everything. Because he's in the head of Amy. Yeah, here you go. Oh, that's her. There you go. That's the everyone and sucked up the power to. Oh, what's happening? So I think that's Faputa, isn't it? Who's going to come out of there? Yep. So there you go. I was correct. Faputa is her child. So she was finally able to have a child who was able to survive. That's why she looks so similar to Inmimi. You didn't forgive a single thing. Hmm. Oh, hmm. These are children. Oh, these are all the oh, the shape of the song. Okay, that's why she calls them by their names. Oh boy. Didn't have the string. 3 eggs. Oh. Yeah, okay. All right. So free her mother. Okay. Oh, I don't know. Probably no. Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't know her. So, hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. There, I have my answer. That is why, like, they look so similar, Fapta and Irmiwi, because like, Fapta's her child. So that's why. So I wonder how she. What's her connection with Reg then? I'm talking about Fapta. Like, one thing I think they kind of confirmed is Reg was a part of this the Golden City. He was probably a resident of this city, and some way he was transported up later, like in the upper layers. I don't know how, but somehow, uh, like, oh no, wait, yeah, curse doesn't work on him, so that's why he was able to go up. But I do wonder why the curse doesn't work on him. So that's also another question. Like, up until now we've seen that the curse actually works on each and every one, but for him it doesn't work. Now, like I said, I wonder what their connection is, like Fapta and Reg, because we saw Fapta. Okay, that's it. We saw Fapta, being violent and not actually, like, what do you call it? Cooperating with anyone, and like, kind of lashing out in anger after she was born, and she still does that. She's not, like, very, um what do you call it, she's not very acceptable to other people that lives here. So I wonder why does she trust Rex so much? What happened? And how what type of a connection do they have in the past, and the whole promise that she was talking about, all that stuff. Okay, so we begin with Reg also going towards Fapta because he needs some, like, a body part of Fapta. Now I just thought, like, like something from Fapta, some part of Fapta's body. I thought, like hair or nail or something like that would be be something that he's going to bring back, to Belaf. Oh boy, well, she actually ends up giving up out her whole, um like, that. Wait a minute, one thing I need to see here. First of all, she says how, like, like they had, like, a promise, and she's like, all right, you want to, like, like, take a part of my body, then yeah, I'll give it to you, but you need to honor the promise. Now, just a second, this part I need to see. What did she yank out? Just a second. She said there's no need for that and starts like, tearing. Wait, she tears out a, that's a hand, isn't it? But um what, one of the this part of her head is gone, but that's, is that a hand? So these protrusions that are coming out of her head, are those hands? I'm so confused here. She, you know what, let me see this part again. Okay, she kind of Reg says, I don't want you to force you to make a sacrifice. Okay, she grabs, oh no, wait. Oh no, she takes two things out. Oh, so she, yeah. So she did sever one of her hands. And also like the upper part. Oh boy. Okay, all right, so there you go. Yeah, she I think she did sever one of her hands. Now she says like, I'm going to do anything for the promise, and yeah, take any part of my body that you want. And then we suddenly shift to like, that scene of Vueko and Irimiwi, and that's when I was like, okay, their faces are too similar. Like, this is not a coincidence. Like, there's something going on. It's either her, and later on, like, I actually it kind of dawned on me, maybe it's one of her children, Faputa, which turned out to be the correct answer. Okay, so okay, after that we see, like, even after that, Vueko was fed those, like, those oh my god, Irimiwi is like, like that, and not only her, everyone was fed that. So everyone little by little became more okay. Their sickness probably little by little went away. And now here's the thing, it's so not interesting, but it's so what can I say, it's so unusual to see. I wouldn't call this unusual, like, the unusual in this show is actually which kind of becomes normal by the end. So basically, like, whenever something like this happens, what would be the normal response of someone who's sane? Like, if they realize that they're actually being fed something like this by someone, what will be their normal response? Obviously they are going to feel sick, they are going to not feel okay. The mental like the mental balance or whatever is going to get rattled, and they're going to like have like a very what can I say, like like a huge mental reaction to that, and which is something that Belaf showed, as we saw. And here when I saw Belaf kind of like like just kind of like clawing himself, and he's like, oh, like like I'm like I cannot, like I didn't realize what I was like doing. I didn't realize what Vazukyan was doing, and I consumed, and all my pride and everything is just gone. And like he was saying all these things, and like kind of like scratching himself and just going crazy. That's the normal reaction, I have to say, because a lot of people won't be able to take when they realize what actually happened. However, everyone else other than him were actually fine with it. Everyone else was like, I'm pretty sure they felt bad, obviously, but nothing more than that. Okay, you know what, I can actually somehow say that, all right, everyone else I could understand, because they didn't have any connection to Irimiwi. As much as Vueko and Belaf had the connection with her, none of the other villagers, I don't think anyone had that type of a connection with her. So the question is, why was Vueko not being affected by this at all? Like she should be the first one to go completely crazy with sadness after she realized what was going on. which she herself kind of talks about. She says like, why am I okay with this? What's going on? And like, I guess there's also another factor that plays in here is like the amount of people's mental strength. What the thing is, I feel like Ryuko's mental strength is probably the maximum out of all these characters because of her past. If you remember, like the first episode, we saw what happened to her. How was she, like, how she was brought up, how she survived and everything. I feel like her mental strength is immense. That is probably the reason why she was still sane after realizing what's going on, and she did not go completely crazy with sadness. However, I guess Belaf was probably on the weaker side of the mental, like, strength side. He was probably weaker. So he wasn't able to like control himself. He became completely mad by the end. And obviously Wazukyan is someone completely different. Like he's a person who is the definition of insanity. I feel like he is someone who is just, like for the what the goal that he has in front of him, he reminds me somewhat of Bondred in a way. I have to say, like, Wazukyan and Bondred, like obviously the things that they did are completely different, and the severity of what they did are also kind of different, but I feel like their mental disposition or whatever, they're like them kind of looking at the goal and going towards it, and that insanity that carries on along with it, to reach the goal they're going to do anything. His, obviously Bondred's goal was, obviously we know, he wanted to research more about the abyss, and for that he could also sacrifice his own self. In the movie, we all know what happened, how he sacrificed his own self to make the white whistle, and all that stuff we know, and how he actually was just completely devoted towards his research and all that, and his insanity and his devotion towards his goal was something which I have to say, which is very pure in a way, if you think of it in that manner. I feel like Wazukyan is also someone like that, because here we can see he also kind of used the cradle of desire on himself, just like how Bondred used, kind of sacrificed his own body to go towards his goal. Wazukyan also did that, tried to do that, and probably tried to see whether it works or not, and it didn't. So that's why I'm saying Wazukyan reminds me of Bondred in a way. And yeah, and obviously, like I said, he obviously did not go insane, because he's the one who's orchestrating all of this, and he's the one who's the prophet. His prophecy is something that's going to come true. And as if you can remember the first episode, like Belaf said, it's not that his prophecy comes true, it's he somehow makes it happen. And I guess this is, we can get an actual demonstration of that. He actually made his prophecy come true. And yeah, so okay, enough of that. So after that, we see Belaf was very rattled. He said, never thought something could be so delicious. Willingly I. Okay, and he was kind of lamenting about how he did all of that, consumed Irmi's children. And Wazukyan comes in, and Wazukyan is like, all right, let's go and see Irmiri. And I really do not know what to expect here, but what I saw in front of my eyes, I was like, yeah, I guess I kind of expected something like this. But yeah, it was basically this huge thing, just huge pink thing, and that's just it, with a little face, and yeah, and it's kind of cradling a baby. And now here's another thing which I have to say, which I was completely shocked with. I did not realize that's what's going on. I was under the impression that obviously these babies had a life, a life of one day. So I thought what Wazukyan was doing is actually waiting for them to die and then feeding them to the other people. Actually not, that's not what he was doing, which was another surprising thing. I did not expect at all. So he ends up taking the baby with him, and obviously, my God, the way Irumi screamed over there, and it was just so painful. Oh, like, oh God, imagine every day going through that in front of you. Oh, I just cannot. Anyways, after that, not Belaf, sorry, Wazukian, yeah, takes it, and we see what he's actually doing. He's killing them, and he talks about how, where is it? Ryoko says, like, he's going to die in one day. Why are you doing this? And he says, seems to me the degree of freshness matters. Wishes dwell within life, after all. So yeah, that's why he's killing them. So wow, it's even worse. Like I said, I thought he was actually waiting for them to die, and then no, he's just killing them outright, just getting them and killing them, because wishes dwell within life and all that. Like, I don't understand one thing. Can't he just wait for a day, and as soon as the the baby dies, couldn't he do his thing? Like, why kill the baby as soon as what's up with that? I don't understand that. Like, he says, like, life dwells within wishes dwells within life. So just wait for a day, the next day when the baby will die, then do it. Like, why kill it as soon as you get him? Like, I don't understand that. Like, anyways, like, either way, both of it is like something that he's doing, which no one would be able to like what can I say, no one would be able to stomach that, like we saw what happened to Belaf. But obviously all the other villagers here, they some way or the other, they became crazy after living in the abyss for so long, and they actually became crazy, and that's why they probably just started praying to Irumyuui, because technically she's saving everyone. And yeah, just taking. Okay, now after that we see Vueko going to Irumyuui and trying to kill herself. For a moment I thought she was going to try to kill Irumyuui, but like, yeah, I should have realized, like, how could she even kill her? Like, I don't think it's possible. So she was going to take her life, but Irumyuui kind of hugged her. And like, one thing she says here is that, where is it? If living in this state is what you wished for, if you have wishes you want fulfilled in the future, I fear I'm okay. So there you go. There's another thing that kind of comes up with this whole situation, another question that comes up, which Vueko also thought, is why would Irumyuui ask for a wish like this? Now this part, I have to say, I'm also not kind of cleared up about this. Like, the second wish that she made, like the second cradle of desire that she used, like, I don't understand that. Like, what happened? Like, I understand that probably Wazukian forced her to wish on it, but why is the wish like this? Like, you know what, I'll go back to that part and try to see if I understand that, because I understand that was obviously Wazukian's doing, the second cradle of desire. He probably forced it on her. But why is something like this happening? Why has her form changed like this? Was it because of Wazukian's wish as well, which kind of got integrated with this or something? I don't know. We'll see. Like, I'll go back to I'll go to that part and actually kind of read that part again and see if I can understand what happened. But anyways, this question pops up as, like, Vueko thinks that, why would she ask for a wish like this? Why would she ask to live like this? The first wish we can understand. She wanted, like, a children. That's why she wished like that. This one, why? Why is it like this? And here, in this situation, in this section, Vueko did not know that there was a second cradle of desire in her. So that's why she thought, like, this is also part of the first wish that she wished, She thought that, oh, this is also another part of her wish. And that's why she says, like, if this is, like, the continuation of your wish, then I fear what your next wish, if there's any wish that is still unfulfilled, I fear what that will be. So she did not know at this moment, obviously she did not know that there's another cradle of desire that is working here. So yeah. Okay, now after that, we see Vueko and everyone else being fed the same thing. Vueko feeding that to Belaf, and Belaf is like, I beg you, please stop. For some reason, I cannot resist that stuff, which makes this all harder to bear. Oh, please, I can't. No more. Okay, now, and then we see everyone's just praying to that, like, Irumiri. And then for after a moment, Irumi herself stopped screaming, and then suddenly one day, it's like she was making weird noise. Vueko goes up and sees the cradle of desire, and she's like, didn't it shatter? And Wazuka says this is the second one. And there you go. Here everything, she kind of realizes that, oh, so this form is not the continuation of her first wish. This is something different. And Wazukian says here, and well, that's why I tried giving her another one. The first one shattered. I tried giving her another one. There are more of these things. Okay, so obviously he kind of asked the interference units, or was that their names? I think so. Yeah, to bring more of these, and they were able to find it out. Now, Vueko says here, is this really what Irimiwi wished for? Okay, I'll need to read this part. I mean, just look at her. And Wazuka is just looking at Irimiwi, with that face. And there you go. Like, we don't have any answer. So what actually happened here? Like, Vueko suspects that this was not Irimiwi's wish. But then why has she turned into something like this then? Like, Wazukan probably forced the cradle of desire on her. But then why? Like, if she doesn't wish something, obviously nothing will happen. So I'm pretty sure she probably wished for something. And the result of that was this. What did she wish for, and why did she wish for that? And was there like some kind of Wazukan's role in that, in her ending up like this? Was there some kind of Wazukan's role in that happening? Like this is the question that's kind of coming to me, and I don't understand. But let's wait if they actually answer it in the future episodes. We'll see. But okay, now after that we see Irumi is just kind of moving, and Wazukan's like, all right, let's go and see the rest of her wish. And we go outside. Irumi is just walking around, going in in a particular direction, and everyone's following them. And oh boy, there's one of the villagers gets caught by one of the big birds and just, oh my god, just dies. Okay, now here there's another interesting thing that Wazukan actually says. He's carrying Belaf. Belaf says, leave me behind. I can't. And he says, no, you're indispensable. What he says after this is quite interesting. He says, you're noble and you never got used to the suffering, you see. None of us will do. Interesting. So basically she's saying that you're the only he's saying you're the only normal one here. You never got used to the suffering here. That's why you are like this. Like, it's true, everyone got used to the suffering. That's why they kind of became mad in a way. Somewhere in their in them there was a madness, because they got used to this situation. And that's why none of the other villagers nor Vueko were broke down like Belaf did after they realized that they're eating Irmi's children. None of them did that, while Belaf broke down, and this is his condition now. That's why he is the most sane and he's the most normal here, if you think of it. Everyone else is just become crazy because they got used to the suffering here. Belaf wasn't able to get used to the suffering and the pain. That's why he's in suffering and he is in pain, So and Wazukan says that that's what makes you indispensable. none of us will do. So interesting. I wonder why he said that. Like, was it because what happened after that? When oh, you know what? I think I realized why he said that. Why he said that you're the, like, none of us will do. You're the one who is indispensable. You see that the section after this where Irumyuui kind of stops, and Belaf goes and kind of, like, says a lot of things to Irumyuui and says, like, oh, like, like, take me, consume me. And Irumyuui opens it herself, and Belaf goes in and, changes. I think for that to trigger, someone like Belaf was needed, because he's the one who never got used to the suffering. He's the one who was the most sane out of all the people here. And that's why Vazukyan said you are indispensable, because you're like that. And he was the one who was the first one to ask Irumyuui to consume him. And Irumyuui actually responded to that. So I feel like if anyone else did that, Irumyuui probably wouldn't have responded. But since it was Belaf, and he's the one who was the most sane, and was the one who never got used to the suffering, that's why Irumyuui listened to him, or something like that. Is that why? And that's why Vazukyan said you're indispensable, because otherwise none of them would be able to get inside Irumyuui and get their new form. I don't know, this is just like something that I thought of myself. I might be completely wrong, but that's just how I see this probably being a reason. All right, after that, Irumyuui kind of goes and stops and starts consuming the other random birds that's just flying around. And like, it's kind of in one place. Okay, now Belaf, like, the thing that I said, Belaf kind of comes down, and he's like, I prolonged my life by taking what is dear to you. I've toughed out starvation and pain before, but I couldn't resist. My pride, my convictions are all gone. He goes to, like, Irumyuui and says that I cannot stay human any longer. I beg of you, please punish me. My bones, my soul, my every single part of me, devour it all. And like I said, this is just my guess, but I'm guessing this was the reason why Vazukyan needed Belaf, and that's why he said you're indispensable. Since he's the one who never got used to the suffering, he's the one who's suffering the most, and he's the one who feels guilty and feels like, he himself said, I took something precious to you to prolong my life. And since he wasn't able to accept that, and since he genuinely wants Irumyuui to consume him, that's why Irumyuui responded. If this was someone else who did the same thing, Irumyuui probably wouldn't have responded, I think. And that's why Belaf needed Vazukyan needed Belaf. And why Vazukyan needed Belaf to do this? Because after this, they were able to kind of let go of their mortal form and become these weird hollow creatures who would be able to survive in this place. So basically what I guess, like, this is just my guess, what Vazukyan was trying to do here is actually get accustomed to this place and get like a form which would help them survive here. That's why he needed Belaf to make Irumyuui respond to him and open up. Belaf goes inside and he changes, and now obviously after that everyone else will go in and they'll also change, let go of their mortal form and become this hollow-esque type of thing, and this will help them survive in the abyss. So was that the goal? I think so. I think that was the goal. That's what he was trying to do. Now obviously Belaf kind of says that, and after listening to him, Irumyuui kind of opens up, and then we get that, that thing, membrane we saw before. Whenever we got into the village, we saw the membrane, and I was like, here I realized, like, yeah, there you go, this is actually the village. Irumyuui is actually the village in itself, and that's why the village in itself has like a will of its own. The whole balancing thing, the value thing that goes on, that is why it is, because the village itself is living. It's Irumyuui actually. That's when it clicked. Okay, and Belaf goes in, and like Belaf changes into that big thing, that snake kind of thing, and everyone's like, Belaf, you've taken a new form, and everyone's happy. This is our home, and everyone goes in, and it kind of goes, lets go of their mortal form and becomes like that, which was obviously one of Yuazukian's goal, because to survive here, you need to do that. Okay. Now, while everyone was going inside, Wazukan sees Vueko just standing there, and Vueko says that, don't you think the second egg did this to her? And Wazukan says that, Vueko, what is it that you want to do? And she kind of goes up, because we saw before, like, she tried to kill herself, and she's like, yeah, like, you know what, I'm not living here. And she says, I should have done this sooner, and she tries to jump, and obviously, what's her name, his name, Wazukan says, like, oh, if you jump, if you die, Irumi's wish won't be coming true. So obviously this is something that Wazukan also does not want. Wazukan doesn't want what's her name, Vueko kill herself, because like, if she dies, the wish will be incomplete, like, because one of Irumi's wishes was related to Vueko. So if she dies, it'll stop, like, like, the wish will be, like, halted or whatever, and, like, Irumi might actually, something might happen which is not going to be good. Obviously, Wazukan doesn't want that, because that'll be going against his prophecy and against what he wants. So Vueko says that. Vueko says, like, so then if I die, will your prophecy fail? And Wazukan kind of, like, gets surprised here, and he tries to jump, but Wazukan goes and grabs her, and we see his hand, like, like, kind of having that thing, and here Vueko realized that he also used the cradle on himself, and this is what I said, like, so he's kind of like bonded, like, he's just devoted to what he wants to do, and he's going to do anything and everything to get to the goal, even sacrifice his own self. Okay, now after that, Vueko wakes up, and she sees that he's inside Irumi's head, and he sees Wazukan's new form as well. So interesting thing, Vueko didn't change her form. Obviously, we can see that, like, her form is still the same, and Wazukan and what's his name, Belaf, and also the other villagers, all of them has changed their form, not Irumi. Sorry, not Vueko. My God, I'm making all the mistakes with the names. So okay, he says you're inside Irumi's head, and we see those, like, not chain, but like those things which is kind of like attaching her to this place. And since this is a place which has the maximum connection to Irumi, like, and that's why she's here. And Wazukan shows off his new form, and he's like, okay, and Vueko asks the question now. She says, the interference units even warned us. They said that the adults shouldn't use them, the cradle of desire. So why did he use it? And he says, Vueko, you might all call me divinely possessed, but I've still got to do everything I can. Like, this is the thing. Like, everyone calls him the prophet, divinely possessed, and all that stuff. But, like, in the end, if you just keep wishing and waiting for your prophecy to come true, it wouldn't work most of the time. You need to put in the work as well. Like, like, if even if you have this gift within you where you, like, where you say something that's going to come true, if you don't do anything to get to it, it wouldn't come true. So that's what he's saying basically. He's like, yeah, everyone calls me divinely possessed and all that stuff, but I still gotta do what I gotta do. So that is why, like he didn't stop putting effort to it. And the effort here that he put is that he even used himself as an experimental subject to try to figure out what to do with the cradle of desire. Now, like, I would like to think here, I would like to think here that maybe he didn't want Irumyuui to use the cradle of desire again. That's why he used it on himself to try to see whether it worked. It didn't work. His hand became like this, and that's why he again used the cradle of desire on Irumyuui. I would like to think that, because I would like to think that he also felt a little bit sad, or a little bit what can I say, bad, after seeing what happened to Irumyuui. That's why after the first wish failed, the whole thing failed, he decided to use it on him to see if it works or not. It didn't work. That's why he was forced to use the same thing again on Irumyuui, so that he gets his wish. So yeah, that's what I would like to think. I would like to think that he had a little bit of, what can I say, that like a little bit of remorse. Yeah, he also felt bad about subjecting a little child through this. That's why he tried to do it on his own, failed, and was forced to use it on Irumyuui. I would like to think that, but I don't know, like the truth can be something else. He says, you witnessed this, you were this cursed pit. What would you do for those who come here to do nothing but pray? Virko, I just know it. We've been gathered here. That compass that you brought with you, I don't know why, but I felt homesick the moment I saw it. And he kind of explains what homesick means to him. Virko says, even though you were forsaken by your homelands, and he says, like, the homesick that I felt, you see, doesn't come from feelings from your homeland. Something you couldn't have, no matter how much you yearn for it. Something that will never come back. Something that will never exist anywhere again. It's a fragile but a very deep longing for such a thing. Homesickness. So yeah, like for them, like homesickness had like different meanings. They had different beliefs and different things. And for him, he kind of explained what homesickness was, like the longing for something that you cannot get, that you probably lost, that type of a thing. That was his version of homesickness. Desire for that. That's the homesickness that he had. While Vueko says, my homesickness was my homesickness was Irumyuui. Like her longing was for Irumyuui. So for her, that was her version of homesickness. And he says, like, I'm sure the Great Pit will continue to call out hereafter and far into the future to those who keep striving to fulfill their longing. So basically that, like, everyone who's going to long for something, the pit is going to call them, the abyss is going to call them here. And to fulfill that, they're going to come. And they're going to get attracted here, and like they'll start falling deeper and they'll reach a point when there's like it's of no return. And yeah, that's basically the abyss. And he says, I speak of hope. Virko says, is this prophecy? He says, I speak of hope. And he then just leaves. Please watch over things from here. When Irumyuui's feelings reach you directly, the place is already yours alone. There you go. So yeah, like a few things that kind of explains. Obviously, like I said, that I would like to think that he used the cradle on himself before trying it on Irumyuui again. But that's just my wishful thinking, maybe, who knows. But yeah, obviously I compared him to Bondred because their personality and their striving for their longing, or whatever he called his homesickness, they would do anything to accomplish that. And he also explains the whole thing with the abyss, where the abyss in itself is, like something that calls out to everyone who has a longing, and it calls out to them and kind of attracts everyone here. So okay, now after that we kind of see how what everyone has become. That blue-haired girl, she became like that one-eyed cyclops thing. And like that old man, like not old man, but the middle-aged man that we saw with a bandage on his head, he like became like another thing. Okay, now Virka says Irmiu had lost her human intellect, and we can see that thing just there, like that the Irmiu just there, and within it all the people were living, and it was a small village at that moment, and now obviously it's like a huge village. I'm guessing Irmiu continued to grow and grow and like kind of spread. And okay, Virka says, but she kept on living with one and only purpose. She consumed everyone and sucked up the power of the golden city. That's what she was. I'm guessing that's why, like, by consuming other things, it was like, it's gaining in value, and that's why she was able to, like, expand more and more, and it's like a village, mini village now. And obviously, her, like Virgo says, her main goal was having a child. That was her main wish. That was unsullied. She still wished for that. And then we see the second egg suddenly, like, kind of glowing. And Virgo says, like, so that no one would notice, she secretly attempted to fulfill her one and only wish. There you go, her one wish that she wanted. She never, like, gave up on that. The thing you yearned for but couldn't ever have. Your homesickness, her homesickness. A longing too fragile, a longing too deep. And we see the egg break, and Faputa comes out. Your final child. And obviously after that, Faputa kind of lashes out on everyone, and it's like someone who kind of got in. Faputa just lashes out and starts attacking them. And Virka says, like, I'm glad, Irmiu, you didn't forgive a single thing. There you go. Yeah. Like, all the pain that she got up until now, she never forgave anything, and Faputa is the embodiment of that. She's the embodiment of the like, we know Faputa wants to destroy the village. She's the embodiment of the hate that she has felt up until now for all these people who has just taken her children day after day after day and made her like this. You couldn't forgive any of this. You bottled it all up and were screaming inside, weren't you? I couldn't see what your child looked like, but I could hear her. Yeah, she's in the brain. About the regrets of her countless siblings, and how your soul was imprisoned, flesh was turned into a place to live. She was screaming out with her whole being. Irmiu, until I met you, there was something I've been looking for. Boy, I need to read these parts again, because when I'm reacting to it, I'm not able to properly concentrate. Like, I'm watching what's happening, and also, like, the subtitles. There's so much more to the, like, what they're explaining, the narration. There's so much more to it. So yeah, like, it's kind of difficult to see and actually understand what's going on at the same time. That's why I'm reading this part again, because this part I need to read again to actually understand what she was talking about. Irmiu, until I met you, there was something I've been looking for. But I didn't need to find it anymore. Oh yeah, the whole like the home, like, the place to belong. I loved the warm darkness, never to return beyond the yearning for home. And we see Faputa kind of running away, afraid. Within the true darkness, there certainly was a light that no one could find. Yeah, which was obviously her. But not a single person could take hold of it, that solitary princess born from the darkness. I couldn't help but hope that you'd be able to fulfill the wish you inherited from your mother. There you go. So yeah, that was the, like, when Faputa was born. And like I said, up until now, I was like, I even said at the beginning, like, when I was reacting to this episode, I was like, they look so similar, Faputa and Irmiu. That's why I made the mistake at the beginning of, I thought, like, oh, they're the same people. But then I kind of, like, kind of kept aside that theory, because, like, like, Irumiri was talking about Faputa as like the Hollow Princess, and not Irumiri, sorry, Vueko was calling Faputa the Hollow Princess. So I was like, okay, maybe they're different people. But then again, in this episode, when they were shown like, one scene after the other, I was like, wow, they look so similar. There's something going on here. And when this scene was being shown, when we saw the egg being like glowing, I was like, wait a minute, is she actually her child or something? Because they look so similar, it won't surprise me if she was actually her child. And there you go, she's actually Irumiri's child. And yeah, so what basically happened is Irumiri kept all the regret, all the hate, anger, and everything within herself, like the pain. She bottled it up within herself and kept it. And little by little by little, one day her wish actually came true. What she wished for, a single child who would not die the next day. That was Faputa, and Faputa was born. And Faputa was like the embodiment of all the hate, the pain, and everything that she had faced up until now. And she would be the one to to destroy her, like the village, and bring peace to her mother. And that's what like Faputa was, like the embodiment of all that, all the hate and all the pain. And that's what Faputa kind of told Reg at the beginning of this episode. She said like, you need to fulfill your wish. And because she probably Reg probably promised her to help destroy the village, and got amnesia after that, obviously forgot about everything. That's why Faputa said like, yeah, take my body part, whatever you want, but you have to keep your promise. We need to destroy the village. And yeah, that's the wish. And okay, now another thing we kind of understand after this is all those little weird creatures that kind of like whenever the balancing happens, they kind of come out, and which is surrounding Vueko. They are all the children who were, wait a minute, where is that part? These beings are the children who have returned, and the children who were still to be born. They're the children Irumiri never got to call by name, the shapes of their soul, okay. And she's like naming them, obviously, because they're all Irumiri's children. It's alright. No matter how many times it takes, I vow to get each and a few a name. Okay, all that stuff. In place of a mother who could no longer speak. Children of Irumiri. And that's where her backstory or her recollection ends. Oh, interesting. So those are actually Irumiri's children. That's just the shape of their soul. The all those siblings that never were able to survive, or something like that, I guess. Okay, so now after the whole story ends, she says like, properly speaking, Irumiri didn't have the strength left to maintain the village, because Faputa inherited the 3 eggs. Oh, okay. Oh, wait, 3 eggs? What? 3 eggs? Why 3 eggs? What should? Wait, am I missing something? 3 eggs? Wasn't there 2 eggs? What's the 3rd egg? The 1 egg was that one that shattered. The next one was the one that what's his name? Wazukyan gave to her. And I don't know, where's the 3rd egg coming from? I think I missed something here. Let me know. Okay. She says like, but looking at everyone's actions here in the village, the value beyond imagination keeps Irumiri alive. Right now the village is much bigger and more robust than it used to be. Oh, so I'm guessing the whole balancing the value thing is the one which keeps her alive, because people like the whole luring thing we saw, they bring things in and increases the value of the village. And even though Irumiri doesn't have any more strength to keep the village going, that is what's keeping her alive. And obviously Riko asked the question, is like what Faputa wants to do, and she says free her mother, she's going to destroy the village. Obviously, that's the promise that she asked Reg to fulfill. Because of her nature, she cannot pass through the member into the village, but it seems she's been trying to find a way in the whole time. Okay. Now she asks, what do you want to do? Vueko. Okay. Just a second. She says, I only want one thing. Um, I just don't want to forget about her. Okay, there you go. And that's where it ends. All right. So there you go. That was this episode. And oh boy, like we have like 70 and 80% to 80% of the secrets have kind of been revealed, what actually happened after that and all that stuff. And we kind of have the full picture here. There's still a few things that we have still not been answered. Regarding Reg, is what about Reg's past? How is he? What's the connection between him and Faputa? Because from the looks of it, it seems like Faputa knew Reg and she was pretty friendly with him. I wonder why. Maybe because Reg was probably not part of this village. Is that why? Or who knows, maybe Reg was also part of the no, Reg definitely was not a part of the village, because otherwise the villagers would recognize him. So yeah, that scratch out that. So Reg is obviously someone who is probably not part of this village, outside the village, and maybe that's how they kind of met each other, Faputa and Reg. And since Reg was not part of the village, Faputa did not have any kind of animosity towards him. All the anger and everything she has is all on the village. She wants to destroy the village, and also the people she hates them probably. And I'm guessing that is the reason why she was able to become friends with Reg, and then they ended up making a promise, probably of destroying the village or something like that. And obviously then Reg got amnesia and went up on the surface and then came down and forgot about everything. So that's why she's she kind of readily gave her arm, and she's saying that, yeah, I'm going to I'm going to give you anything, just fulfill your wish, fulfill my promise that you made with me. And there you go, that was it. So there you go, that was this episode. Now, like I said, this one thing that I talked about in this episode is Wazukyan. Let me know your opinion about him, because I think, like I said, I think he's very similar to Bondred, and he's like a complicated character. What he's doing is obviously not okay. Obviously what Bondred did was not okay at all as well. But if one thing you have to admit is these two characters, they did what they what they set out to do, and for doing that, for reaching that goal, they even decided to sacrifice themselves, and they wouldn't stop. That in itself is quite impressive in my way. And I talked about my impressions on Bondred and the movie, the reaction. I gave a huge section. I kind of discussed about him and my opinion about him and everything. Long story short, Bondred obviously someone who is very bad, very not good at all, one of the worst peoples that we could see in this show. I wouldn't put Wazukyan in the same category, but he's also done a very questionable things. But even though all that stuff he did, what he's doing is because of his his longing for the abyss. And if you remember, Wazukyan said here homesickness or whatever, that's what's making everyone do all of these things. And to do that, to because of the abyss, Bondred did all of those things, and he was true to himself. That is one part that I can respect. He's a bad human being. He's a bad person. He did so many bad things, but he's true to himself, which is something I can very much respect. And and for Wazukyan as well, I think the same thing kind of applies. Obviously, what he did does not in any way hold any candle towards what Bondred did. Bondred did way more messed up things. What he did here obviously does not hold any candle to that, but still he did some questionable things. But at the same time, he also is true to his cause. He's true to himself, and That's one thing I can respect. And you know, like, and if you think about it, if Volskan did not do all of this, everyone would have died. So that's another thing that we should think about. So yeah, what he did was not okay, but at the same time, what he did was he just dirtied his own hands to do something which is going to benefit everyone. Like, this is one thing, you know, like dirting one's own hand. No one can do it. If, like, you know, like dirting one's hand to do something and actually, like, you know, getting a result which is going to benefit everyone is something no one can do. It's very rare amount of people can actually do. Everyone would think that, why should I dirty my hand? Why can't he do it? You know, like, this is the thing. So for someone to do that in itself is something that I can say that that's kind of impressive. Like, and he himself knows what he did, and he himself realizes, I'm sure about it. But yeah, he still did it. And yeah, I guess that's one thing that I can respect about these characters. Like, they dirted their own hands to do something that is going to benefit everyone. Because if you remember what Bondred did, like, all his research and everything, that is in a way somehow is helping all the other cave raiders, you know, like, and like the research that's going on and everything, you know, it is going to actually help us out in the long run. But what he's doing is obviously very questionable. So that's what he's doing. He's dirtying his own hands to make everyone benefit, and the result that's coming out of it is benefiting everyone. So yeah, I can respect that part at least, obviously. But yeah, like, this is the thing. This show is something that I don't think, like, people, you know, like, who are accustomed to animes which are just all happy flowers and just, you know, like, oh, good things happens to good people, always justice always wins, you know, we should never give up, we should never, like, you know, like, sacrifice something to gain something, you know, like, these type of animes that we always see. Like, I feel like 90% of the animes that we see are something like this. Like, very rare amount of animes are which actually goes towards the dark side. This is one of those shows. And 90% of the anime being something like that, you know, I feel like that's why a lot of people actually hates Bondred, and probably Vazukyan. A lot of people are going to hate Vazukyan as well, because that's what they're accustomed to. That's what we are accustomed to. We are accustomed to seeing shows where everything is good, everything will be okay by the end, everything, like, you know, like, justice wins, and, you know, like, we should not sacrifice something for the greater good, we should try to save everything, that type of a thing, you know, like, that type of a shonen-esque mentality 90% of the animes have. So not only anime, I feel like anything in this world, all the shows that we see, any TV shows and whatever, all that stuff, like, you know, most of them have something like that. So people who watch these shows and who, like, and obviously us people, we're accustomed to all of those things. So suddenly coming to this show and getting introduced to two of the most, like, you know, like Bondred and obviously this guy Vazukyan, getting introduced to both of them who are this type of a character. Now, I feel like most of us are not able to get used to it, and that's why, you know, like, I've seen so many people hate on Bondred, and, you know, like, obviously Bondred did something bad, but, you know, like, they don't try to look at the whole situation from another side. They always, like, they're just like, oh, this person bad, that type of a thing. But you should also try to look at it from another's perspective. None of us try to do that because we are so much accustomed to just characters who are either bad or good. So that's why I feel like, that's why, like, you know, like, a lot of us like, audiences who suddenly watch this show, you know, after seeing two characters like this, like, you know, we're like, oh my god, these people are so bad, you know, like, they're like the worst people that could ever exist. But yeah, but I, like, you know, looking at them from this perspective and kind of thinking about their personality and what they're doing, if you do it, I feel like you'll understand that obviously what they're doing is not okay, but at the same time, nothing you can do about it. This is that type of a show. This is a show where you need to dirty your hands, otherwise nothing good will come out of it. If you keep yourself unsullied and like affected, and just like try to be the good person here, you're going to get completely devoured by the abyss. Everyone needs to dirty their hands here to survive, and morality here is it's walking on a very thin line. So we need to realize, whenever watching this show, we need to keep that in mind and judge characters based on that. Like, we are seeing stuff like this is happening here with Bondred Wazukan. How are we going to react? Like, I don't know, I'm just guessing here. How are we going to react if someday down the line, Rico or Reg or all the people who we love, they also have to do something like this? How are we going to react after that? Are we going to start hating on Rico and Reg after that, or something like that? There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like everyone needs to dirty their hands in this show, and I wouldn't be surprised if in one of the future seasons we actually see Rico or Reg also have to do something like this. And oh boy, I'm pretty sure, like, I can guess if something like that happens, how the audience will react to it. But yeah, you need to, yeah, this show is crazy, like whenever you're watching this show, you actually need to kind of get prepared and be like, all right, like, stuff is going to happen here. I need to keep an open mind and see everything, like, in a very open manner. Like, I cannot use like shows like Naruto, My Hero Academia, that logic over here. I cannot do that. Then everyone will be bad characters here if I use the same logic here, because everyone some way or the other is doing something bad here, like they're also dirtying their hands. So there you go. Anyways, this became a long discussion. I'll end it here. Thanks for watching. This was my reaction to Made in Abyss season 2 episode number 8. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know, and I'll check them out. Your opinion, like I said, Wazukan, what's your opinion on him and all that stuff, let me know and I'll check them out. And that is it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Made in Abyss. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.